From Siki Chen on X, my entire life I voted Democrat. Donated the max to Obama, got a photo and had him talk about my toe shoes on the stump, pulled my kid out of preschool in 2016 after Trump won because their teacher was MAGA, voted Kamala last year. Today I registered Republican. Yeah, well, he'll be getting both barrels next week then, won't he? Definitely. Legitimate target to about 20 million deranged leftists across the Western world. Further to yesterday's video, all the last 12 hours has been, since I woke up this morning and first checked my phone, has been literally millions of deranged woke cult members celebrating the fact that an innocent man who never ever advocated violence against anyone ever, a man with a wife and young children, got shot in the neck with a bolt action rifle in front of a crowd of students. And apparently that was a good thing. This isn't even remotely surprising to anyone that's been paying attention. And I've been saying this for years. It's gonna kick off. The best indicator of this was the COVID pandemic, and I rightly pointed out that you cannot put a genie back in the bottle. They spent years conditioning people to be afraid and to stay in the house. And then people acted surprised when loads of crazy people started going into a frenzy if you weren't wearing your mask, or when millions of people didn't want to go to work, or got agoraphobia, or didn't even want to walk around a supermarket. That is what we've seen on a larger scale ever since Brexit was the precursor. It was Brexit and Trump in short order. Anyone old enough to remember what 2010 was like knows for a fact I'm right about it. Politics wasn't like this only 15 years ago. Obama and Romney never went at each other like they do now. The left were never told by all of the college professors, university lecturers, and Silicon Valley and the mainstream media constantly every day that if you're a boring milquetoast conservative, you're actually a genocidal, hateful, raving lunatic that wants to kill people. But that's what they told them. That's what they told them for years. You had people going on talk shows saying, oh, I'm disabled and I'm worried. How many of us is Trump going to kill when he wins the election? And nobody pushed back against it on the left. They promoted it. So it takes me to the point of this video. How do we fix the problem? I'm not going to show you loads of clips. I could literally show you thousands of them. I'm sure you're sick of looking at them. I'll show you one, just in case you don't go on the internet for your own mental health. But this is typical of millions and millions of people on September the 11th, 2025, responding to the news that an innocent family man got murdered in cold blood by a raving lunatic. All right?
Yo, I heard a Nazi just got shot in the neck. Is he dead yet?
And as you might expect, all these comments are just ha ha ha. They're loving it. Almost all of them. Gloating endlessly. So what do we do about it? There's no point just turning into a lunatic in response, right? Your response to people getting conditioned to be violent communists who are more than happy to see their political opponents dead or locked in a gulag. The response to that can't just be, okay, then we'll just do the exact opposite. Fascists versus communists. That old chestnut. I mean, the fact that the fascists always beat the communists isn't really a boon. It's not something that I'm pleased about because I don't want to live like that. We need some actual measured steps to sort this problem out. Unfortunately, I've got a few. One of the most reasonable ads I have seen about this is from The Telegraph. As usual, you know, I pay for a subscription. And it's well written, so we'll read that, and then I'm going to sum up and tell you what I think we can actually do to sort this problem out. Suzanne Moore writes, Charlie Kirk's assassination serves as a chilling warning to Britain's intolerant left. Sickening celebrations on social media demonstrate how many progressives have become the very fascists they claim to despise. She correctly writes here, there are people who still celebrating the murder of a father of two young children and think they're the good guys. We've seen this play out in real time. Kirk's shooting has produced widespread shock and horror, but others have reacted with a smirking celebration. This is pure malevolence, dressed up in the form of chirpy memes and TikTok videos, catapulted into the moral vacuum in which parts of the left now operate. It is disgusting. I say this as someone who is opposed to most of Kirk's views and is also aware that political violence belongs to the right as much as the left. Blah, blah. Not anymore, it doesn't. Not anymore, it doesn't, Suzanne. Definitely not. It's only 12 weeks since Melissa Hartman, the former Democratic Speaker in Minnesota's House of Representatives, was murdered in what was described as a targeted assassination. The message 328 days of blood on your hands was spray painted on a wall, an apparent reference to October 17th, 2024. Yeah, and where was the celebrations on the right? Where were the millions and millions of young right-wingers going, yeah, this is amazing? There was none. That's where there were. You'll also notice all the gloating has been from the under 40s crowd. If you check the videos, there's thousands of them floating around. I've never seen an old guy on there. The vast majority of them are young people because the march through the institutions was completed only in the last 10 years. And the world only went mad since Brexit and Trump. And so you've got these colleges packed with young people now who are getting brainwashed daily by the professors and the academics and the writers and the journalists and the mainstream media and Silicon Valley, and they're all doing it every day, telling them that if you politely disagree with some of the most extremist people on the left, if you politely disagree with Laurie Penny or Owen Jones or AOC or Bernie Sanders, and you have boring milquetoast beliefs like Mitt Romney or someone, that you're evil, that you're pure evil, that you definitely want to murder millions of people, and that's why you get fellas like this, who's a military veteran by the look of things, laughing about it. It's not really his fault, is it? He genuinely seems to believe that Charlie Kirk was an evil person who would harm him. The fact that it's total nonsense doesn't really matter, does it? The root cause, I'm always talking about doing a root cause analysis. The root cause of the problem isn't this guy, it's these guys. Famous study from the Harvard Crimson. That's the student newspaper at Harvard. They found that 1.46% of the faculty called themselves conservative, as opposed to 45.3% who called themselves liberal and 37.43% who called themselves very liberal. Indeed, more than 80% of them said they're liberal or very liberal, and only 1% of respondents said they were conservative, and with none at all calling themselves very conservative. The Crimson sent its survey to more than 1,100 members of the FAS and School of Engineering Applied Sciences, polling tenured, tenure track and non-tenure track faculty on their demographics, academic life, and viewpoints on other issues. As you'd expect, right? As you'd expect. Because the universities are churning out professional activists. And of those professional activists, it seems like a very hefty minority of them, a very sizable minority, are definitely pro-murdering their political opponents. So how do we fix this problem peacefully without simply drawing a line in the sand and have the far left versus everybody else? Yeah, doing it in the old-fashioned way, lining up in a big field like when the Romans invaded Britain, and then just stabbing each other in the face with sharp sticks until someone loses. Well, I'll tell you what you do. You remove all federal funding from all educational facilities that refuse to sack militant extremist professors. The feds can get involved. Loads of these people, how famous are some of them, these academics? They love going on social media and gobbing off about their insane, deranged views. We know who they are. Identify them, sack them all. And there's lots of wishy-washy things you can do to sort this thing out as well. You can mandate media literacy in schools, and you can have young people forced to take a class like we used to do PSE every week in the UK, personal and social education. You can have a mandated class every week for the kids, and you talk to them about how brazenly biased the media is. If you only watch CNN, you will despise Charlie Kirk 100%. And if you only watch Fox News, you like him. People need to be told about this type of stuff so they don't get brainwashed while they're children. You can cap political ads. In fact, I'll make some tickers, shall I? Just to drive the point home. Right, there we go. Mandate media literacy in schools. Do it. Fire the lunatics and have the most reasonable people teach the kids about the media and how this stuff works. People need civics classes, really. Well, we should have a couple of hours every week teaching kids about civics and the media and how this stuff works, instead of just making them do maths and English and science constantly. And, while they're learning the sums, the occasional segue into an insane political rant that would make Bernie Sanders shit his pants from a full-blown socialist spewing commie gibberish at them over the books. Number 2, another easy one, cap political ads, boost local town halls. In the States, it's pretty mad. They take out attack ads all the time, and I don't think there's any limit on it. So as long as you've got money, you can put out creepy looking ads that say, dangerous. Donald Trump, dangerous. Are you disabled? He's going to put you in the gas chambers. That's the type of stuff they run. It's got like spooky music. Anyone who's been over here on holidays probably seen them. Scary music and weird grey filters over the faces tell you they're evil. How about we don't do many of those and we force you to go to the local town hall and sit and actually talk to these people? Because I've noticed, especially having a YouTube channel, that people online will shriek hate with impunity. But when you actually talk to them in public, very rare. I'm quite verbose, as you might imagine. I'm not a shy man, and I talk to people that every time I go to a bar or a brewery or a restaurant. I talk to strangers about politics because I love an argument, and 9 out of 10 are totally reasonable, even very left-wing people. So how about we stop the attack ads and force people to talk to each other for a change? Number 3, we can have cross-aisle shared political events. Christ, I almost sound like a socialist. You know, like Olympic watch parties or World Cup or whatever. Stuff that unites both groups of people, left and right, under the American flag or the Union Jack, because God knows both countries need it, and doesn't turn into a political event. The Americans always did a good job of uniting people under the flag, until the last 10 years, when they started purposely brainwashing people. And number 4, this is my favourite one, smash the extremists. Smash them. Intelligence-led operations. Therefore, no one's civil rights are getting trampled on. We're not going full-blown General Pinochet, free helicopter rides for you, Professor. No. What we do is comb social media for all these videos of the lunatics promoting murder, and we send the feds around to have a chat with them. And they have a stern conversation with them. And if they haven't done anything actionable, fair enough. But we'll get some notes. I'd love to have a chat with the gentleman with the beret on and find out where he goes to school and who he talks to on a regular basis, and maybe do some intelligence-led operations. And if you find things that are actionable, and professors and lecturers and journalists and writers, public thinkers and public figures who have routinely, like Hassan Piker, definitely lock him up, and Destiny, definitely lock him up. There's 2. You can have them for nothing, FBI. Cheers, lads. Crush them. If you find actionable evidence, trial them, lock them up. The stuff that the likes of Destiny and Hassan Piker have said is full-blown hate speech that if someone like me or Salty Cracker or Ben or anyone else on the right, when even remotely within a mouse's cock's distance of, our entire platforms would have been wrenched away from us, our channels would get deleted, and we'd probably get prosecuted. But the left have had a free pass because they control the corridors of power these days. Enough of that. It's time to crush them. We've got thousands of feds. Make them earn the pay and concentrate on extremists on the left for a change. You all know this. Anyone who gets the news off YouTube, they've seen the stuff Destiny comes out with. He gloats. He loves it when people get murdered. The guy is an extremist crank, and he should be breaking rocks or wearing an orange jumpsuit in Guantanamo Bay, listening to the Barney soundtrack on loop 12 hours a day. But that's just my opinions. If you think the only solution is to line up in a big field with automatic weapons and empty them until someone cries uncle, let me know in the comments. If you think I'm being a wishy-washy libtard, please let me know down there below as well. And if you happen to subscribe to Destiny's channel and you don't think he should be in a federal penitentiary, please provide me with some evidence down below, because I've yet to see any. All right, that's me for the day. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gents. I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.